Okay. So now we are having, we are going to have discussion on deep cloning. I have taken a class called A and class called B. Okay, we learn what exactly deep cloning means. Okay, what we are going to do, right, in a code. Forget about descriptions and all. So now I have class A, I have class B. Okay, class B, I am taking as a reference object for this. Okay, and inside the class B, we are having a string name something. So immutable. That is the reason if you modify, it will not immute. That will talk. Okay. So now I have a class A which have two properties, right? Int A and BOBJ, right? So let me create a class. Let me create one object. So object of class A. So I created A obj equal to new A. So this is obj, which is A, right? Okay. So when I create this, right? So this will get created. Okay, let me assume that we are having a constructor which will take two value. Okay. So what two values are? One is B obj. So first we have to create the object of B. Let me create object of B. So B ob equal to new B. So I have created OB. OB is the object. OBJ, let me take here. This is OBJ. Let me take OBJ only. Okay, now what I did, I have to pass, first I pass number 5 and then this OBJ to the constructor. So I have created this object real objr, clearly visible, like you all are able to understand, right?
Yeah, yes, I could
Okay.
understand.
So a obj real equal to new A. So I have created one object. Okay, let me remove this. It will look a bit clumsy here. Okay, so now I did. So let me draw that diagram here. So this is object real, obj real. Now I have created BOBJ. So BOBJ got created here. Okay, BOBJ got created here. So what is this? BOBJ means what it have? So it have a value called property called name.
Name.
So here let us here name. What is the value of name? Value of name I have passed. Should I have, did I pass anything? No. Let me pass some.
No.
Let me pass. Otherwise, we'll not able to understand. Let me pass Ram. Okay. So now this is having value Ram. Clear? This is BOBJ. Okay. Now object real got created, right? And object real is having two values. The first value is 5 and second value is B object, right? B object. So what is the B object? Name here OBJ, right? So here we are having 5 and OBJ, which is pointing to this address. So this address is 4662. Let's assume this address is 4662. Now we are having one value, right? And this memory address, right? Which object real is having pointing to is 5664. Okay, clear? So this is where when we create this, right? This is the diagram which get created in memory. Okay, so now what is there? So it's object real which I'm pointing to memory address 5664. In that we are holding two things. One is this value 5, another one this object which having name property where name value is Ram. Okay, now it's implemented, it's having implementation. Okay, now we have to clone it. Okay, we are going with the deep cloning concept. Forget about shallow cloning. If you do shallow cloning, what will happen? We will create object obj clone, right,
Only the
which have different memory address, right, which have value 5, which will have object which is pointing to 4662. Same, this is shallow cloning, right? Clear? This is shallow cloning that we have learned. Okay. So now,
Yeah.
and today we are learning deep cloning. In deep cloning, what we supposed to do? Everything is going to be the same. The only thing that we have to take care, if I want to create a separate copy of, if I create a separate copy of this OBJ, right? In if you create a separate copy, right? Every time when we clone, so in that case we'll avoid this, right? Pointing out to the same memory location. So for that, what we can do? What we can do for that? Okay, so let think through, and what we'll do, this OBJ, right, which we created here, right? If while doing cloning, if we create again this object with same value but different reference, understand what I'm saying? So what I will do in deep cloning, I'm just explaining what I will do in deep cloning. So deep cloning, what I will do, while doing a deep cloning, everything will get cloned. When I come to this part, right, I will not point out to this. So default implementation, I will not go with the default implementation. So what I can do? So what I will do, I will take the reference from this variable object real, and I will see, hey object real, point out to object one dot name. So I point out to object one dot name, I get the value like string name. I got the name. One second, let me. So I'm saying this object real, I need the value of name. If I got the value of name, what I will do? So again, while doing cloning, again I will create b obj clone equal to new b. Now what I am creating a new object, right, of b every time while doing cloning. So what I will do? So, but you can create a new object, but in clone, object is new, which is fine, but properties, the value should be same, right? Then only you will consider it as a clone. So I need the same value which obj is holding. So what I did, I want to access the value from obj. So I will do here, just see down, obj real dot obj, which is b obj dot name. So what I will get? I will get Ram, right? Which I will pass it here. I will get a new object, right? And then when I get the new object here, I will not, this one not point to this, it will point to the new reference, right? New object. So in that way, what happened? Both will have separate, right? Both will have separate copy of reference and as well as primitive, right? So this is deep cloning. Okay. So how we'll do that? That anyhow, I will write the code. You guys will easily understand. It might seems complex. You just have to focus on clone method. Okay. I will demonstrate that how we'll do that. Okay. First, we'll learn something about deep cloning. Then I will go with the implementation. So again, I don't have to move to Notepad. So always remember, for deep cloning, there is no default implementation for deep cloning. No default implementation. Second thing, every time, let assume if you are writing a clone method implementation for class A, if you are going for XYZ class, you cannot have the same clone method every time. Based on your logic, you have to write it. Based on property, you have to write a clone method implementation, right? Okay. So no default implementation. You have to give the implementation. Second thing, in deep cloning, along with primitive data type, reference data type also will get separate copy. It's not like you will point out to same object what was happening in the shallow cloning. Okay. And if you modify any data, okay, it will not affect other objects. Clear? It will not affect any other way. So I will say no impact on modifying properties, right? So if you modify a property, it will not affect other object, right? Okay. So clear? Let me go and write the code, then you guys will better understand this. Okay. So anywhere if you got doubt, okay, we'll see. We'll only practice today cloning. Okay. So let me 1 second. Screen is visual, right? ID is visual.
Yes.
Okay. Deep cloning. This is a main method. Forget about this. Come down. Okay. So what I said, we are going to have two methods, two classes. So let me take class. Okay. So let me take a class called um, A. Taking a class A. Oh, it's already having. We are already having a class A. So I will take class X and class Y. Okay. So now inside class X, let me have a variable called int A. Okay. And we should have a constructor. Let me add this constructor. Clear? So class A is having one constructor. This is clear, right? Okay. So now we'll take one more class B. Okay. This is class Y. Oh, no, class X. We will take class Y. So inside the class Y, what we will take? We will take int B, right? A value, or we'll take a value. Forget about V, 1, and then we will take X as a reference. So we will take X, okay, and we'll have X ref. Okay, this is variable. Okay, don't get confused. So now I have two values in class Y, right? Y and X ref. And then what I will do? I will just generate constructor for these two. Okay, so now I've generated a constructor. Okay, okay. Now I want to create a deep clone of this Y. Y is a class. I want to create a deep clone for that. What is the first step to add a cloning feature to a class? The first step is implements. What we supposed to implement? Cloneable interface. Which type of interface it is? It is a marker interface, right? Once you implement cloneable, then what you have to do? Anyone? Like, you guys are able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
So what we have to do? The first step is implement cloneable. Second step is override clone method, right? Poonam,
Yeah. Then uh, object and then clone method. Then
clone method
clone
doesn't take
node.
any argument. It throws what is
Clone node support.
clone not support exception.
Clone node support exception.
Okay, so right now you have to type like this. Later on, we'll learn this thing also. Okay, so now with shallow cloning, what we used to do, because I'm going to perform cloning on this class, right? So shallow cloning, if I have to do the shallow cloning, I just have to write return super dot clone. And when we perform cloning, right, what it will do? Let me create the object of, before creating object Y, I have to create object of A. X obj equal to new X with, let me pass a value 5, right? And then Y obj real equal to new y. What I have to pass as a first argument? I will pass 45 and then second argument obj, right? Because here I have implemented shallow cloning, I will just write here obj, sorry, I have to create obj copy, right? You can give any name, I will just give it, sorry, obj real dot clone, right? So what it's saying, because clone will return which type? Object type. So I will cast that on. This is shallow cloning, right? Because I'm here, what I'm doing, simply calling super.clone, nothing else. Okay. So when you are going with deep cloning, nothing change. Everything will remain same. What you are doing here remains same. What you are doing here, everything will remain same. Where things will change? The things will change inside this. Inside this. Okay. So inside this, what it will change, we'll see. So first thing, when you are going for deep cloning, you remove this. You don't need this default implementation. You remove. Okay. Now, so now what you have to do? So first thing, you have to check if, so who is calling clone here? Object real is calling clone. So right now this keyword pointing to obj r, right? Correct. So first we have to check this. This should be instance of cloneable. Means it, when you are saying this should be, means this should be instance of cloneable. So here, because who is a super? Cloneable is a super for y, right? So this is this keyword pointing to which one? This is pointing to objr, because objr is calling clone method, right? So now I have checked this is the instance of cloneable. What the second thing I will do? Okay, so you remember, so we know that xref, right, is a value, is a reference type. So we'll figure it out how many reference type we are having, right? So if you have any reference type, create a new object for that reference. Let me create here. Okay. So what I will do here, I will create x obj equal to new x. So now new x, I need to pass same value, right? I need to pass same value what this obj is holding, right? So this obj holding 5. How I will get this 5? I will get this 5 like that. So now I know that this is pointing to object real. So this dot xref dot a. So what happened? I get the same value. I created a new object, right? I created a new object. Then what I will do? I got x object. Now I have to create a fresh new object of y. So I will say y obj equal to new y. Okay, in this one, this object real dot val, one second, object real dot val, and then I have created, right, a separate copy of xcrf, right? Because I'm using new keyword to create a new copy. I'm only using the value, old value. I'm not using the old object. I'm using old object value. I'm creating the new one. So I will pass obj here, right? Clear? Okay. What is happening? Okay. So let me create y obj. So I created a y obj. So now inside a clone method, from this I got all this information. I created a totally different copy of this, right, with the help of new keyword and all. So now I have a new copy, and also I've created new copy for xcrf, right? So what I will do here? I will return. What I will return? YOBJ. Clear? Clear to you all, right? Okay. So if this is an instance of clonable, I will perform cloning. If this is not an instance of clonable, what I will do? I will throw exception. Which exception I will throw? So throw new clone not supported exception. So this is the only thing got changed in deep cloning, and mostly interviewer will ask deep cloning here. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything. This is point to current object. I have the current object. What is the current object name? Obj r. So what I did, first I fetch this value of object, which is 5, and I created a separate object for x inside clone, right? And then I fetch the first value, which is 45, objr dot val. Now you see, the first I created x object, then I fetch this dot val, and I pass this to inside the constructor. I created a new copy with the same value, right? Clear? Okay. So now,
Abhinav, I
yeah,
have a doubt. Like, if we have more reference on the real object, so we need to follow the same, right? For each and every
yes,
reference, we need to. Okay.
yes. Let assume. If you want, I will. Let assume you are having. Now I have a class X. Let assume I have class, one more class, right? Here. Let's have W. Okay. And W is also having, we are having as a WREF reference, right? So in that case, let assume here I will write this W W ref. Okay. This dot W ref. So how, like, if you have to write it, okay, you have to write it once. So I'm just assigning this, which is clear, right? Okay. So now, because I updated the constructor here, right, I have to create something for W as well, right? So let me create for W. Now I will pass here W obj. Clear? So what will change? So now I have to create here W obj, any name you will give because it's a local variable, right? So here I have W, and then what I have here, symbol, this dot
W ref.
W
Dot.
ref dot whatever value A, right? And I have object here, I will pass it here W obj. This is deep cloning. Okay. Now let me perform cloning. Okay, let me add two string. Why am I adding two string? So that I don't have to print every time. Okay. So you guys know about two string, right? It's just to print content of the, right? So let me go here. System.out.println obj obc copy, and system.out.println obj real. Okay. So it's printing reference. Okay, you just see, because I have not overridden two string inside X and W, right? So you just see that here. So 45 is fine. You see, they both are having different object. This one, right? Different memory address means different object. Let me add two string over there, and then we'll see. I'll copy this quickly. Only 3 minutes left. Okay, now let me run this. So now you see reference, right? Now what I will go in deep cloning, if you modify, right? I will go inside this obj clone dot wrf dot a equal to 96. So in deep cloning, what happen? If you modify one reference, it will get modified for everyone, right? Okay, let me print again. So in shallow cloning, when you update, it will update for everyone. But in deep cloning, it will not get affected, right? It will only get affected where? Object C. Object C will get affected. Object R will be same. Real will be same. So let me run this. Okay. So now we see the value, right? So here what is A is equal to 5. A is equal to 5, right? I have updated object, cloned object. So which is 96. But a real object will remain same, right? You see, it will not get updated, right?
Yeah.
If I just remove this implementation, I will just remove this implementation. I will just comment this out. Okay. And what I will do, I will write return super dot clone. In this one, you will see what is happening.
Will affect both.
Now you see, it's affected both, right? After update, you change for A, it will affecting. You change for cloned one, right? You see, you change for cloned one, right? But when you're printing object real, what is happening? It is affecting this, right? To avoid this, we are not going. This is called shallow cloning, which is default. This is single line. We are not going with this. Clear? Any doubt? Last 1 minute. Okay. I will disconnect and again we'll connect. Okay.